Here I want to introduce you to the Wonderland cardigan. I've made it here with a lined hood, but the pattern is actually just a single layer. I just decided to do that because my fluff wasn't very nice. I've used some excellent buttons I've got from Mood here in Los Angeles, and on the inside you can see we've just got some very simple facings. So this is dead easy and very quick to make, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. And on the sleeves we've got this little cross stitch almost, and that retains the elasticity, which is great, and it looks really good. And then most of it is just overlocked and top stitched. Now we're going to have a little look at the pattern. This is how it comes. You've got the name of what it is, the age. You've also got in centimeters and inches what the chest measurements should be. And then you've got the test scale here that you need to measure, either an inch or the 5 centimeters, so you know it's all printed off correctly. You also have with every pattern a kind of diagram here, so you know how the pieces go together. That's really important because it's not a poster print. So what you get is these dashed lines here, and they need to be put together like this. So I will cut this out and then just push them together. So to know how many pieces you have and all that, that's why I've added this little diagram. Also, the sleeve will always have this little yellow flower, and then the front always has this white flower, and the extra bit here, the hood, has got this pinky kind of sunflowery shape. And so you know which ones go together, so you could just pile them up all together. I think we've got just 8 pages here for the whole jacket, so it's much more economical than a poster print. So here I've got my front, I've got A and B, and I've got C. So I'm just putting this over so my attachment line is covered, like so. And then you can put anything you've got. In my case, it's just a lens on the top there, so it can't move. And then we just sellotape it together. There we go. And then I move it over and I attach the other side. And you have to bear in mind that every size is different. So as you go up with the sizes, your little plan here will be different, because obviously I need more paper, so there might be another bit here. So it goes from just 3 pieces to 4 pieces as you go up to age 11. So I'm going to just stick this here together. There we go. Wonderful. So I've done my front, and I can do the same obviously on the sleeve. So let's have a little look at the sleeve here. That comes in 3 parts, and again we've got A, B and C, and we put that together as well, and then we do the same on the hood. Now we want to have a little look at the pattern pieces very quickly. We've got the back, we just cut on the fold, and we've got a facing for this. And then we've got the front with an integrated facing, and when that is folded over like this, that will be the inside, and this is the outside of the front, and then we just have a button there. And we've got the hood, and the hood here has got 2.5 centimeters to fold over, and then to fold over again. And the reason I did this so big is because some of you might go out and get, like I did for my example, a really nice and fluffy piece of fabric, and then you know you want it to be a little bit wider than that, so you might only want to tuck it in like 1 centimeter so that you get a much wider bit. That's why I left it. And also, if you have a more flimsy jersey that you're using for this, then that gives it more stability if it's a bit thicker. So that's why I did it like that. The important thing is that when it's folded over, whichever way you do, 1 centimeter or the 2 here, the important thing is that you actually stop the hood right there. So the hood goes on here, all the way around here, and you've got a little mark here, and that shows you where the shoulder is, excuse me, and then you go around to the front, so you have this little bit left over. That is not going all the way there. So you've got the hood here. And then the last pattern piece is the sleeve. Now I've actually put a little line here where we also put these together, and it says to adjust the sleeve length, divide sleeve here. So if you say, well, I want the sleeve to be shorter or I want it to be longer, which I hardly doubt because I made them a little bit longer than they need to be, especially as the sizes go up, because a lot of the older children, say 8 or 9 years old, like to really pull down their sleeves over the knuckles and even put the thumbs in and whatnot, you know, the little thumb hole thing. So if you don't want that on the bigger sizes, this is where you cut it, and then you can just take it up and you would reconnect from there, obviously. But if you are like me and you like them over length for the older children, then fine, and for like the 3 to 4 year old, it's exactly the right length. At the bottom, I've made them really, really slinky. And what we're going to do when we have the sleeves turned up like this, you can see they're really slim. You do need to use a two-way stretch for this. That's really important. And then it'll be really snug and lovely. And we're going to do a lot of cross stitch there. And there's a separate video for you that you can watch from the sewing workshop, which explains how to do that as well. Do not do that with a sewing machine because A, it's going to be far too tight to get in. Some people like to do the hem first and then close the side seam, and of course you can do that, but I actually think it's much neater if you do it after and do it by hand and you get all the stretch. So those are all the pattern pieces, and we can now get started.